All right, 3 years with the Jets, coach of the Browns as well. Fox Sports' Eric Mangini on a Monday joining us. You know, I said this to Trent Dilfer, Coach. I said, when Tom was in New England, it was a do your job, you don't have power, we're going to bark at you, sacrifice for the team. He had a lot of success. Structure. He goes to Tampa, he gets all the power. The longer he's in Tampa, the uglier it gets. Now it's a coaching issue, a personal life issue. The team's a mess. And I feel like saying sometimes all of us in life want power, and we want to do it our way. Structure and sacrifice is hard. And I'm watching this thing in Tampa, Eric, and the more leverage and power and say Tom has, the uglier it gets every week. That's what I see. They're just unraveling. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I don't see this as a Tom Brady power issue at all. Look, the guy's 45 years old. He's going through things in his personal life that he hasn't gone through before, and it's obviously very difficult, and he's navigating through that. So maybe he can't be as all in as he typically has been, but that you would expect that. To me, there's bigger issues here. He has nothing to do with the defense, and the defense isn't playing very well. When you give up 126 quarterback rating to P.J. Walker, when you give up a 6.4 yard average that the Carolina's running game after they trade away their best running back, that's a defensive issue. Your best player drops a touchdown pass. There's other things there that aren't related to Tom Brady and the power struggle. And when you look at it from a coaching perspective, I think one of the most interesting things there is Todd Bowles goes from just the defensive coordinator to the head coach, and the defense isn't playing as well. And now you've got Bruce Arians, who's still in the building.
Yeah.
And I know they're not talking about coaching changes, but that's a very easy transition to make. Maybe it's not he goes back to being the head coach, but he could easily become way more involved very quickly.
All right, Bruce Arians in the building. Good point. So I said before the season, people are what they are. Your game is your game. Aaron is not a patient, mentoring, put my arms around these kids guy. It's not who he is. He's young. He's 38, single. He doesn't walk the dog in the morning. He doesn't bring the wife coffee. Aaron's going to do what Aaron's going to do. He's not perfectly built for a young receiving core to be patient. It's eye roll city. I don't think you can solve this unless you go get him a veteran receiver. What do they do well? I mean, you tell me. What do they do well?
Well, here's what I'm encouraged by in this situation. So, Aaron Rodgers, when they draft Jordan Love, he's pissed off. When he doesn't have a new contract, he's pissed off. When he's pissed off, he's MVP. And then he comes this year, he gets all the money, he gets all the power, he gets everything he wants. He goes on the Zen trip in the summertime, and he's very content. And when he's content, he's not very good. And sometimes great players need to play angry. They need to find some way to continue to motivate him when it's not the money, it's not the fame, it's not the success. And now he's back to being pissed off, and that's good. And look, in 2016, they were 4-6, right? And then they go on an 8-game winning streak. They almost run the table. They lose to the Falcons in the NFC Championship game. The thing that I like the best about this situation is it looks like Aaron Rodgers is back to being pissed off. And so maybe he's not going to nurture the young guys, but maybe he's going to demand that they perform at the level they're supposed to as professional football players.
All right, that's a different take. There are things in life that don't have a precedent, and so I don't know how to explain them. A quarterback is a bust, a backup, and becomes a star. I don't even know what to make of Geno Smith. I've never seen this before. He was basically borderline out of the league. He was a backup, and he looks fantastic. I mean, explain it to me.
Colin, I feel like I woke up this morning in some sort of NFL alternate universe. Tom Brady's on a team that's losing. Aaron Rodgers on a team that's losing. Russell Wilson's on a team that's losing. And Geno Smith is playing incredibly. If you had told me before the season that this was going to happen and it's a guarantee and you could bet your life savings, there's no way I would have done it. And it's incredible. 107 quarterback rating, running the ball as well as Seattle's run the ball with 2 rookie tackles. So the names you got to know are Shane Waldron and Andy Dickerson. Shane Waldron's the offense coordinator. Andy Dickerson is the run game coordinator and O-line coach. And they are both young and smart. And look, you have to give them a ton of credit because Seattle's not winning with defense. Seattle's winning in an unbelievable fashion. More unbelievable than the Giants to me at this point.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So, listen, Mike McDaniel's getting heat for the kick field goal stuff. But there is a stat. You've told me this before. If you score first in the NFL, you win 70% of the time. If you score first at home, you win about 75% of the time. I don't know what the number is scoring first at home against the rookie quarterback, but it's probably 90% of the time. And I watched those first 3 series, and that was schemed, practice, scripted. And I was like, wow, that is coaching. And then Tua off the script doesn't do anything. And so everybody's beating up on him on the 2-point star, or going for it instead of the field goals. I don't love it either. But, man, that first quarter looked like unbelievable offensive coaching to me. My interpretation is he's doing a great job with what Tua is able to do. There's things he doesn't throw. I mean, what do you make of McDaniels?
Yeah, I like him. I like his demeanor. It's obviously very different than my demeanor and the coaches that I've been around demeanor. But I think it works. And there has been creativity in that offense. And Tua's looked like a real guy, and he's been criticized since he's got in. He's underachieved in a lot of ways since he's got in, and McDaniels has a relationship with him. He's done creative things with him. He's got him to play well, and if he hadn't had the concussions and the setbacks that he has, Miami at 3 games ago was the hottest team in the NFL and explosive, and I don't see why they can't get back to that. And he's going to get better as a head coach as it moves on. There's a lot of learning curve that goes into it, especially early in the season.
Yeah. Hey, I got to talk about the Jets. By the way, I've got an hour and a half on this show and haven't talked to Dallas Cowboys. So everybody says all you do is talk
Congratulations.
Cowboys. No, I'm going to talk about them in a second for about 4 minutes. I thought their game was totally boring. But I will say this. I had my doubts on Zach Wilson and Saleh. Saleh's had a great year. Zach Wilson, I'm still out on. It's almost as if they're coaching to just not let him lose the game. By the way, they see practice. I don't. They're taking the ball out of his hands totally. But I will say this. When I watch that defense and that energy, that's a lot of Saleh. I mean, it looks like he is that culture. That team loves him and buys into him. That's what I see. What do you see?
Yeah, you feel that, and to me, it is managing Zach Wilson. They're trying to not have him lose the game at this point, and we haven't seen any games where you look at it and says, okay, he went and won this game for us. It's definitely managing that process, and that's really hard from a planning standpoint. But the rest of the group, you've seen tremendous progress defensively. You've seen progress on special teams, and when he stood up in the podium. And everybody was down on him and down on the team. And he said, look, you're wrong, and I'm going to take receipts. We all took a step back and said, you probably don't want to do that. But I'm sure in the locker room, those guys appreciated the fact that he had such a conviction as to where they were and where they were going. And it wasn't for show. It wasn't for the media. It was something that he sincerely felt. And the players, I imagined, rally behind that.
Yeah. Hey, finally, tonight, Patriots and the Bears. I like New England a lot tonight. This is what Bill does. You're a young quarterback. You've been in the rooms. Justin Fields, I'm going to make a prediction, is going to struggle with his defense. So what is Bill? I mean, folks, I've seen it 1,000 times if I've seen it twice. So what will Bill do tonight with young Justin Fields? What do you expect to see?
Look, unfortunately, Justin Fields has struggled with most defenses as he's gone through the early part of his career. But with Bill, I'm sure it's an emphasis over and over again of we have got to keep this guy in the pocket. We cannot let broken plays become big plays. He has got to beat us as a conventional quarterback in the pocket. And that's going to, I would imagine, it's all going to be their best run stoppers, their biggest players. their most athletic edge setters to keep him in the pocket and see whether or not the Bears can beat him throwing the ball. And if they do, they do. But you can't come out of that game where they beat you running the ball and they beat you because he's got a bunch of broken plays that suddenly translate into 21 points.
Yeah. All right, Eric Mangini. God, New York, the Giants and the Jets. Forget their baseball teams. They're done. October, the Giants and the Jets are a real story. The Yankees and the Mets out. What a strange October it is in the Apple. Great seeing you, Coach.
Good seeing you too, Colin.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.